If there was some massive conspiracy surrounding Donald Trump, don't you think we'd know about it by now? This man has been under a microscope since 2015. Every left-leaning political activist prosecutor in the country is out to destroy him. There were leaks all over his White House. And yet today, yet again, we see a rather pathetic end result. The latest crusade, as described by the liberal activists over at NPR, Trump's family business CFO are criminally charged for alleged tax crimes. The state of New York accusing longtime Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg of avoiding paying taxes on $1.7 million in perks. That's it. That's the best that they could come up with. Something that happens constantly in the business world and is typically resolved by a fine from the IRS. But of course, this is the crime of the century because our justice system is now so politically charged. And everything is now politically charged. Here is a Trump Organization attorney.
If the name of the company was something else, I don't think these charges would have been brought.
Yeah. New York's Attorney General Letitia James is a left-wing activist, and that's being nice. She actually campaigned and got her job, a campaign on destroying Donald Trump.
I wake up every day with this fire in my belly. I go into my office. I usually sue 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and then I go the hell home.
President Trump cannot avoid justice in the great state of New York. I can only tell you that the Office of Attorney General is standing up for the law. And again, no one is above the law, including the most powerful individual in this country, and that is the President of these United States.
She's so awful, and she's so sad. What an embarrassment to her profession. She's so much more dangerous than anyone in the Trump White House. How scary is this? She is an admitted political operative running the Attorney General's office in New York. This is the kind of stuff that happens in Russia, the party in power stopping at nothing to destroy their political opponents. The amount of irony in all this, that Democrats for years incited fear in everybody talking about Russia, the threat to democracy, and then they condone this kind of behavior. Purely political. It's embarrassing. In response, here is some more from the Trump legal team.
This case is truly unprecedented. The Attorney General's office and the District Attorney's office brought a joint prosecution here because they dislike Donald Trump politically.
Simple as that. The allegation, the CFO didn't pay taxes on $1.7 million in perks over the course of many years. After years of digging, of course, we presume innocence, but even if these charges stick, let's just assume they stick. If you audited most big companies, you'd likely find stuff like this all over the place. You'd probably find a ton of it, and they do. It does happen. And when it happens, it's barely a blip on the radar. Listen to this. A year and a half ago, Wells Fargo was fined $3 billion for making fake accounts and ripping off their own customers. Now, I heard about this story because I work in the news business. Did you hear about it? Maybe you heard a blip. Was it on CNN and MSNBC all day for years? No. It was a headline for one afternoon, and after that, nobody really cared. They stole billions of dollars from their own customers. Bank of America has paid out a staggering $82 billion in fines over the last 20 years for that massive bank's explicit greed and thievery. Nobody cares. $82 billion. Trump CFO allegedly ducks taxes on $1.7 million in perks. Stuff he got that he just didn't say, oh yeah, I got this, and I'd like to now pay taxes on it. Democrats and the media erupt in outrage. I mean, it's the funniest thing. It's so stupid, it's funny. It's all manufactured. It's all completely pathetic. Check out the media coverage. All these reporters salivating at the thought that finally Trump could go down.
We begin with a special grand jury bringing an indictment against the Trump Organization and its chief financial officer.
Former President Donald Trump's company, along with the organization's longtime chief financial officer, have been indicted.
After a grand jury indicted not just Weisselberg, but the Trump Organization as a business on criminal charges related to alleged tax crimes.
The former president released this statement earlier today. The political witch hunt by the radical left Democrats, with New York now taking over the assignment, continues. It is dividing our country like never before. Imagine trying to run this country, by the way, with this kind of nonsense every day, and a media in bed with Democrats, blasting it out on a loudspeaker, trying to scare the hell out of everybody by telling these stories. Meanwhile, a much more plausible corruption story has been unfolding and is completely ignored. President Biden's son Hunter, a new one today even, leaving a digital trail of breadcrumbs leading to corruption. It's become clear that the president himself was in on these deals, as Hunter used his father's position as vice president at the time to enrich himself and enrich his family. That is what I call a big-ass story. For years now, Biden has denied ever knowing what his son was up to. Here he is.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Who cares, right? That's not a story. He's just the President of the United States. A breaking story from the Daily Mail reporting today. Joe Biden himself entertained Hunter's Mexican billionaire business associates in the vice president's office in 2014 and even flew with his son to Mexico City on Air Force Two so Hunter could attend meetings over a, quote, flippin' gigantic deal. Yes, Hunter the crackhead, Hunter the kid that knows how to do nothing except extort money, it would seem. This story even comes with pictures, too, which is great. The media loves pictures. This is what usually makes a great story. I don't know how they ignore all this. This picture was reportedly taken in the vice president's residence at the Naval Observatory. You can see Hunter, you can see Joe, and a whole bunch of rich Mexicans. Looks like fun. Trump's son, Don Jr., was brought to testify on Capitol Hill for far less than what we found out about Hunter Biden since maybe fall of last year. The media went insane over some very weak links between Trump and Russia. I mean, they get the smallest little morsel, and it would be a story for 2 months. They jam it down your throat. You couldn't avoid it. And then it all blew up in their faces, and we laughed like hell. But on this story, on Hunter and Joe, together, abusing the office, making money off the office, that's just what politicians do. We can't report this. There's no room in NBC Nightly News for this story tonight. We got to talk about Trump CFO failing to pay taxes on a set of golf clubs he got from Donald Trump 20 years ago. They're complicit. The media will protect the Biden presidency at any cost. The politicized DOJ ignoring this as well, which is even more shameful. Just imagine if these stories about Hunter in Ukraine, Hunter in China, now Hunter in Mexico, with Joe Biden standing right there, were all Don Jr. And Trump was taking Don Jr. to Mexico to score a big deal for Don Jr. and make a fortune. Can you imagine? Can you imagine CNN? I mean, literally, your television would explode. They'd be making so much noise. You remember this old photo? Biden golfing with Hunter's Ukraine business partner, Devin Archer, a man who Joe Biden claimed he had never met. Oh, yeah, except that time we spent 6 hours playing terrible golf together. This email to Hunter Biden from a Burisma advisor thanking him for the opportunity to meet Joe Biden. That's right, crackhead Hunter got himself a job making $80,000 a month. I'm jealous. I'd love to make that kind of money. Ask Democrats and the media, nah, nothing to see here. That's no big deal. Who cares? Utterly pathetic behavior by the party in power and, of course, their colleagues, the establishment media. It's an unparalleled moment in American history. We are not being dramatic about this. This is utterly ridiculous. You remember how they silenced the New York Post reporting going up to the election? We are living in a very crazy time. The left is living in an alternate reality. They are demanding that you do as well. What they do no longer matters. They cannot be criticized. That's it. We're watching liberalism take over huge parts of government as well as our justice system and the media, which of course they already had. The difference between the handling of the Biden family and the Trump family should shock you. It is certainly shocking to us.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.